How long did you end up? I mean, it was pretty short lived, but how long were you Kerwin White?
Not long, man. It was probably about 6 months. I was Kerwin White until the day Eddie died. When
Yeah.
Eddie died, we were in Minneapolis for a super show, Raw and SmackDown show, because the whole crew was going overseas to Europe the next that night, I think, or maybe the next morning. And after Eddie passed, Vince, Triple H, Shawn Michaels all came to me at Eddie's hotel room, and we're in the hallway, and they're like, "What do I do?" Vince goes, "Do I cancel the show?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not. Eddie would never have wanted you to cancel that show. The show must go on. We
So
have
they
to
left
do the
this
show."
decision to you.
Well, I can't say that I made the final decision. They wanted my opinion on it.
Wow.
You know, I that and whether he would have taken it or not, it's up to him. It's his show. But I told him, no, you don't do that. Absolutely not. You, whether you do a tribute show or whatever, the show goes on, and I want to wrestle. And he was like, all right. And I came out that night with as Chavo Guerrero with blonde hair.
Wow. How difficult was it to wrestle that match that night?
Um, I was guided. I felt that like Eddie was there with me, and was guided through it. Then I had JBL wanting to wrestle me and put me over. Um, so he's a guy that loved Eddie. I loved Eddie. We all did. Um, so the fans were behind you. It was like I couldn't do anything wrong that night. I look back at that match. It was just super special, man. Super special. And just getting in that ring and just performing. And Mick Foley, I think maybe a couple weeks afterwards, he wasn't even with the company, but when I saw him somewhere, he goes, Chavo, he goes, when you climbed up for that frog splash at the end of that match and you hit that frog splash 1, 2, 3, he goes, that was such a special moment. And I was like, wow. I was like, dude, I was just, you're on autopilot, man.
And I mean, that really changed the direction of your character for sure. You went from Kerwin White to instantly, not just Chavo, but like almost this, like, it was like you were paying tribute to Eddie and to your family name as well.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's when I adopted, using some of Eddie's moves. Before I would do them as a dig, like, to get heat.
Yeah.
Anytime, anybody else does if you do a pedigree, the first time people think is they're going to think Triple H. If you do a people's elbow, the way Rock does, you're going to think it's a Rock. RKO, Randy Orton. Took him a while to not have the diamond cutter, as DDP, but you can think of RKO, right? But so you don't want to think, you don't want to do the move and have them think of another wrestler, but in this case with Eddie's moves, the Three Amigos and the Frog Splash, I want them chanting Eddie. Still to this day, they'll do it. Every match I have, I get an Eddie chant.
Yeah.
Every single match.
Why do you think it is, like, there's been lots of wrestlers that have left us, but Eddie has left this like legacy. What do you think it is about him that people still 15 plus years later are still talking about him?
Great question. Great question. Eddie was an incredible performer. Sure, we get it. Great wrestler. Awesome. But the thing that Eddie had is that Eddie was a two-dimensional character. And when he was just Eddie Guerrero, guy in a lowrider coming out, okay, whatever, doing his Hispanic type thing. But then when Eddie got fired from the WWE for addiction problems and lost his wife, and ended up really hit rock bottom, lost his job, lost his family, lost his house, lost everything. He hit rock bottom, and for him to make that comeback, he became this three-dimensional character, this character that people would look at him and wasn't just some wrestler now. That was like, hey, I'm him. I have those problems too. I have those. And he was very open about it. And even on his promos and stuff would talk about that. It wasn't like there's a lot of wrestlers that had addiction problems and went to rehab or whatever. And just, that was it. Eddie talked about it. That became part of his life. And Eddie had this very unique ability to connect through the TV to the people. He wore his heart on his sleeve, and you saw that. So when Eddie was on camera on TV, you felt his passion. And it's very difficult to do, and not very many people can do that. And I don't know if Eddie could have done it if he didn't have all the stuff that happened that went through him in his life. But that's my opinion why Eddie is still so beloved and remembered.
He's like the most likable bad guy ever. He does every heel thing. He lies, he cheats, he steals. We're not supposed to like him, but it's hard not to like him.
Yeah, man. He just people saw how good he was, and they just saw the passion that he had for wrestling and for life and for family and for everything, and that resonated through the TV.
Is there anything that Eddie taught you or words that he said that stick with you every single day?
So much, man. So much in and out of the ring. My Christianity for sure. Uh, just every like life lessons. Family, wrestling. Things that you still remember to this day. Like he would say, "Hey, man, keep going." He goes, I remember one time he and I were tagging, and I was upset about something, and he goes, "Look, man," he goes, "I was you." Because when I was tagging with Art Bar and we were Los Gringos Locos in Mexico, he goes, "This guy was more over than me." He goes, "I was weird. I was a second generation pro wrestler, whatever. This guy was getting all the praise." He's like, "Man, I was mad." He goes, "Cream always rises to the top. Just keep going and keep pushing your ability." And from what he said, your brilliance, your charisma, it will come through. And sure enough, it did, whatever. But he was like, "You just stick with it, man." He goes like, I know, because I was there.